Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with Mark Olroyd from Suddenly Comics, and we are the Price Variants. Normally, we do the hottest Silver Age comics of the week, but this time we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be talking about current series X-Men '97 and what our thoughts on the series are, and we're just going to discuss it because it's kind of cool that we get a series that is a continuation of something that happened in, well, my childhood. Mark was like, Mark was still silver haired back then. It was like, he's much older. So, it's like,
Oh yeah, I was in my 30s, mate. I was married, divorced,
oh, wow. So you've lived life.
working my way up the corporate ladder. Yeah,
Mhm.
so I didn't watch the original. I didn't watch it originally. I have watched it since the original cartoon series.
I have to admit, I met my wife in '96.
There we go. Wasn't she more
So,
interesting than the TV series?
uh, yeah, at the time. It's tricky.
So, well, I'll edit this. Don't worry.
So yeah, no, I actually liked the original X-Men series. I actually rewatched it recently. Like I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a few episodes from it. It didn't quite hold up as my memories of it did. You know what I mean? Like the original series, I thought it was a little bit, a little bit hokey and a bit childish in parts. Um, but I thought the new series kind of stripped out that little bit of hokiness. I thought it was much better.
Yes, so
What did you think?
we're pre-recording this because I'm off. So as of this moment in time, we have 3 episodes of the new series. I think I've
Mhm.
watched two, and Alan, you've watched.
I've watched one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did I think? I thought it was great. No,
Yeah.
exactly. No hokey, no unnecessary wokey stuff. It just told a story. We got X-Men with their X-Men powers. We did get a bit of their daily life sort of issue,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Bit of
know,
Sentinels
a bit of
and a bit of
yeah,
and and also they really do show that it's a continuation of the '96 where, Professor X is dead.
yeah. So he's just
Spoiler
died,
from
effectively.
1996,
Yeah,
but and they're like trying to figure out, that whole new dynamic of who's the leader. Cyclops is the new leader,
yeah,
kind of by default,
yeah.
and
Wolverine's not happy,
but he's not. Yeah, Wolverine's not happy because
but
there's always that,
he's never happy
just
though, is he? He wasn't particularly
yeah,
happy when Professor X was there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he and Cyclops always have that kind of like, hatred for each other. I don't know how to describe it. So yeah, so the thing is like I thought they did a really good job actually. There was a few things where they were trying to say, oh, they're gonna make it woke and they're gonna make all the girls look lame and stuff like that. But I didn't think so. I thought everyone looked pretty much the part and I thought it was quite good. One of my things that I noticed, and that's actually kind of a funny observation, was they used the same voice actors as the original series, right? So Storm's voice, you can actually sense that it's an older woman's voice, because she is an older woman.
Which works
And
quite well. Which works quite well because Storm is a sort of
it was more motherly
well,
figure.
she's a sort of goddess, isn't she? I mean, and they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
say that in
But
this.
it makes me feel like the character itself is older.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
I would have thought in the original series maybe she was like in her 20s, late 20s. This I feel like she's more like in her 40s. It's like it just feels like an older character. But other than that, I thought, all the voices were quite good. I thought uh, you know, I don't know, it just seemed very you know, give like they really want to show all their powers. They showcased all their powers, which is something that they don't do enough in
No,
movies or in shows.
yeah,
Like I always like when they sort of define the character's powers and they even kind of show some of the tricks that they can do with their powers because if you're practiced with your powers, you can do some cool things. Like
yeah,
when Cyclops is falling out of out of the plane,
Yeah.
and he uses his laser eyes to basically slow his fall.
Yeah.
That is a pretty cool thing. I think that's a, that's like, oh, that's like, yeah, this is cool. And when Gambit charges up Wolverine's claws, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the thing I liked about it is it's basically just good storytelling, and
mhm.
it got pace to it. There's
Yeah,
no, oh goodness, what can they move on from this bit, please? Because it goes
mhm.
bang, 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 and it moves
Yeah,
on
yeah.
quite
It
quickly.
wasn't like the dialogue was drawn out and like, oh, we got to talk for 20 minutes and
No,
then some action. It
yeah.
was like pretty actiony and very fast
I think,
paced.
but the format demands that really, doesn't it? Because you've only got 20 minutes or 25 minutes to tell the story, so
Yeah.
can't hang around too long pontificating about things. So yeah,
Mhm.
but I think they've. It's surprising. It is rare these days when somebody revives something that they
And
keep
they do a good
the
job.
spirit of the original. So
Yeah.
that's very refreshing.
And
Um,
they kept I feel like they kept the art style, but slightly improved it, if that makes sense. Like
yeah,
it's
but
weird.
it's not unrecognizable. It's not they haven't sort
That's
of
my point. Yeah.
main hugely AI anime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it looks the same-ish. I mean, it's slightly better, but it's
But it has that same look, is
it
my
has that
point.
same
It's like,
look and feel. So yeah, they've done a good job. And the plot lines are interesting. In the second one, which you haven't seen, Magneto appears, and Professor
no,
X.
he appears at the end of the
That's
first.
right. Yeah. But it's basically he takes over the leadership of the X-Men, which is
Mhm.
very odd. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, and episode two is great. I mean, it tells a really good story. Is Magneto going to revert to being,
Evil Magneto.
anti-human, or is he going to try and integrate with the human race? Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, and Alan and I were having a discussion last week about this because Alan said, "Oh, there's no wokeness in this," and I said, "Well, actually, Alan, I disagree. If you go back to the original meaning of woke, which is about accepting people's differences and accepting
Mhm.
diversity of humankind, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And almost this sort of X-Men, people who are different to the main part of the human race, and the
Mhm.
human race feels threatened by them and treats the differences, and that sort of trying to integrate the X-Men into human society really is a woke message about accepting people's differences, but it's the
Mhm.
original woke, which was the good woke, before,
If that's possible, yeah.
before it was hijacked by the far left and the far right, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah, no, it's a good message. Like, and they do have it in this. Like, there is definitely the what's the character called? The guy that he's got like the power of the sun or something in his arm or something. They rescue him in the first
oh
episode.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sunspot, is it?
Is it Sunspot? Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, Sunspot, I think
that's
you
what they're suggesting. I guess that's what they're suggesting. So yeah, so he is an interesting, they have to rescue him. They're basically, you can sense that the bad guys, which are humans, are going to experiment on these characters, and they are working on technology to basically either harness them or defeat them because there's sentinels involved. So they are setting up that, as you would call it, the old style woke thing, where it is that you know battle between acceptance and pure hatred, like, and will tolerance win the day or not? It's kind of it's interesting because that's one thing that I always thought was cool about the X-Men. You got three parties actually that are fighting. You got the evil X-Men that they want to they're fighting for like elimination of any rivals. And then you got the humans who are kind of mixed. They don't really know how to deal with this new emerging class of people. And then you got the X-Men that are trying to say, hey, we're not that bad. We're just like you, but we got these weird powers. And you got these three groups trying to like sort of mix together, and they're all like causing problems for each other. It's like, and so the X-Men, who are this, the X-Men team, always had that really difficult line to play, where they don't want to necessarily hurt the humans, but they're being attacked by the humans, and because they can't hurt, if they hurt the humans, then they basically justify all the hatred towards themselves.
Yeah.
So it's always a difficult line to play. And then they have these other mutants that are causing all this havoc and ruining the reputation. It's always I always found that a really fun dynamic. And I feel like this did play into that. So it was really good.
Yeah, and the plot lines are fun, in the second episode. Spoilers, guys.
Spoilers, lots of spoilers. We should have said
I'm
that
going to
a few
spoil
minutes
it for
ago.
Alan. So, Magneto's leading the X-Men and gets attacked
Yes.
by the guy who's controlling the Sentinels. So they have a battle
Mhm.
against the Sentinels. This guy brings out this weapon that can remove X powers, and
Yeah.
he wants to get rid of Magneto as the big baddie. So he
Mhm.
fires this thing at Magneto, and Storm jumps in the way,
Oh,
and
so Storm loses her powers?
Storm loses her powers. Yeah, end of
Is
episode.
this a temporary setback, or is this?
Well, at the end of episode 2, she's leaving on a bus as a normal person with no
Wow.
powers.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, it moves along. The storyline's fun. There are
Mhm.
rumors that we're going to get the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that as well. That there's actually a Dark Phoenix or Jean Grey clone.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah. So it's
So
sending.
it's yeah.
It is reviving some of the comic prices as well. So there has been an uplift in prices on Giant Size X-Men 1, which has been in decline for about 2 years. So
Yeah. I mean, I think that is usually a testament to the quality of a show.
yeah,
So if a show is bad, we see what the effects are. We've seen that during the whole, spike and then collapse of prices. Whenever and that's because the shows had been typically pretty bad for the last 3 years, I would say. Maybe 3, 4 years. I don't know. It's been a while that they've been pretty bad. Um, and if you see the prices going up, that means that fans are actually there again.
yeah,
And I actually think that there's one other conversation we can almost have on this where they're doing the ultimate X-Men and ultimate Spider-Man and ultimate Black Panther. They're almost saying, okay, everything we did in the past, just kind of ignore that. let's make a new series that's actually good. And the fans are actually, there's collectors out buying it, not based on like, oh, spec, but they're buying it because they like it.
yes, yeah,
And that's what I'm thinking we're seeing with some of these new comic prices going up, that they're buying it because, hey, I actually like these characters now.
yeah,
And I think that's a good sign.
yeah.
I really did.
The character I hadn't really quite liked in the first 2 episodes was Morph, who
Yeah.
they use him really
He's a
well.
bit of a jerk.
He is, yeah, but they use him really well because what he does in the TV series, he morphs himself into some of the X-Men who aren't in the current X-Men team,
Yeah.
and then uses their powers. There's a great one where he turns himself into the Blob, and
Mhm.
Wolverine bounces off his stomach.
Yeah. I thought that was cool too. Yeah.
And there's no,
But
it's a gift for fans because there's no warning of that, and they
mhm.
don't make a big issue out of it. It just sort of happens, and if you know the other X-Men, you can go, oh, he's turned into
The
X,
Blob.
Y,
Yeah.
Z, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I found that he would like Morph would do some really funny things where he'd like he became Professor X at one point,
he did.
which is incredibly bad taste. The guy just literally died,
Yeah.
and he's like he's being a total jerk, but he's using it as a way to kind of push the story forward in a way,
Mhm.
because it's getting the other characters to have to deal with the situations with those other characters that are either not there or that they're having crises with. He does the same with Jean Grey. He becomes Jean Grey for a while and talks to Wolverine about it. It's like all these funny things. So yeah, I actually think he's been really well utilized, Morph.
Yeah. So
So yeah.
yeah, so we quite liked it, guys, so far. when this
Mhm.
has probably got the full series out, so you'll probably have seen more than we have. But let us
Yeah,
know in the comments below what you think about the new X-Men series.
series.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then on Mark's channel, we're actually going to be talking about something else. We're going to be talking about Deadpool and the new movie and what our expectations of that are. So definitely go over and check out Mark's video on that. It's going to be really cool. So go over there, check that out. And what did you guys think of the X-Men series? Put it in the comments below. And thanks again for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.